All right, what's up, guys? Let's do this. So we have a quick live stream. I'm gonna do about 30 minutes. I'm gonna take a look at Bitcoin, and we're gonna see if we can find some interesting altcoin setups. I do think Bitcoin is running into resistance. We are most likely going to see a rejection, but if Bitcoin can hit that 50K, maybe range a little bit about around this area, we might see alts go for that last run up before I believe we might see a market wide reversal. Not a high time frame reversal back in the bear market, but just a reversal for Bitcoin, just a little bit lower, right? Because I feel like we need that, right? Anyway, let's run the intro and let's take a look at let's just take a look at everything. All right, so here we go. Here's Bitcoin, BTC USD on Bitstamp. This is the BTC main chart I have here. So this is the layout I have when looking at Bitcoin from mainly a high time frame perspective, trying to figure out what's next, and it's just unbelievably strong right here. Just unbelievably strong. So right, so we're approaching that high time frame resistance at around 50K right now, and I do believe we are going to see a rejection up in this area. So you can clearly see here by the horizontal levels here that we have not only a very clear horizontal resistance area, it's also where we have some interesting fib confluence up in this area as well. So you see the green 0.236 right here and the red 0.618. So the red one is the bearish fibs and the green one is the bullish fib. And let me show you how I've put them on the chart. So basically I have the low here and the high up here, brings in the green levels where we have the 236 right here, and then we have the bearish fib drawn from that high down to that low right there. And usually when drawing bearish fibs, there's one specific area that I'm watching for a high time frame reversal, and that is the reload zone, right? So we have the short reload zone right here, and then looking at the high time frames, we have the long reload zone right here. That's why when we started losing this area, I started talking about if we start entering this area, this will most likely be the area where we see a high time frame reversal. Obviously, that got front ran, and we instead have that that bottom right here. But I'm still viewing this area as the major resistance area, and especially the 618 right here, because the 618 is in confluent with a very significant horizontal resistance level, and like I said, we have some fib confluence right here. So I don't believe, like, it's possible, of course, that we can just break above this area, and if we do see a violent breakout here for Bitcoin, I am going to be watching the 53K region. So let's just add a horizontal line right there. And if we do actually break above this area, I anticipate this 53K area to act as resistance. And the question then is, will we get rejected here and hold this level as support? If that's the case, I think the bounce in that area will be a very good buying opportunity for Bitcoin. However, if we get rejected here without a breakout and we see Bitcoin start trading lower, this is a very nice area to buy more Bitcoin, right? So right now we're seeing a very, very nice uptrend right here, where price hit the daily 20 EMA right here, and then it hit the daily 20 EMA once again. And it really looks like we're, continuing the uptrend. You guys probably remember when Bitcoin were trading, trading up here, and we were talking about a potential drop down to the area around 40 and 42K right here, when the daily 20 EMA was here and the daily 50 was here. Now, obviously, I believe that that level got front ran, and if Bitcoin, drops like this, I think it's going to be rather bearish, right? So I don't like the idea of seeing a drop down to the 42K area again. I do think that break above 50, and especially 50K can act as support. I don't think Bitcoin is going down to 42K. I think we have a lot of upside potential here, and we might just break into new all-time highs in the next couple of weeks if we actually establish the 50K region as support. And same thing goes with the 47K region, which is right here. If we can, if we get rejected here and we can establish a support right here, I do feel like it's very likely that we're going to see this trend just continue up for quite some time. Right, so let's look at the lower time frames here. We have the 4-hour, and it really feels like every significant level is just getting front ran here. Like every significant level is just getting front ran. So everyone who's waiting for a retrace, like me included, right? I mean, I still have a good bag of Bitcoin, but I wish I had more, right? But like I don't want to I don't want to fill up that bag at these levels right here. So when we were trading here, I remember selling 50% of my bag up here and waiting for the test of these levels, right? And I'm kind of getting the same feelings here, right? But I'm no longer looking at the 42K level. I'm now looking at the, let's say 47.5. This level right here where we have the weekly open. I'd like to see something like this, and I'd probably buy more if we have a good bounce on the 4-hour, like a rounded bottom down there. I think that's going to be very nice. So if we're looking at the 1-hour, let's assume that this test right here was the front running of this level, and we can kind of see how it might actually be a decent support area between these two horizontals right here. So what I'm looking for now is a break in market structure on the lower time frames to kind of confirm a possible move lower. And we have a couple of interesting levels here on the 1-hour. I think it's going to be even clearer on the 15 minutes. So let's first add them on the 1-hour. So we have one in this area and then one right here. So first sign of a rejection. Let's say we tap that 50, come down. If we hold this level as support on the lower time frames, I think we might very well see a breakout. But as soon as we break below this level and enter this range, it's a sign of weakness. And if we lose the range low of this range, I do believe we're going to get a breakdown and we'll test the lower levels around 47K. But if we can establish some type of range above this range, like this, so we have some type of range right here. And if we can create some type of range up here with, slightly higher highs and higher lows, and for the market structure to kind of look bullish on the 1-hour, I think it's quite likely that we will see a breakout, right? And if we do see a massive breakout, like I said, I'm going to be watching the 53K area right here. So that's some thoughts on Bitcoin. Now, my idea for Bitcoin, I'm kind of trying to think here what my idea here for Bitcoin would be, to kind of sum it up, to make it as simple as possible. Basically, what I'm thinking is this: rejection here, bounce here, and I'm going to be a buyer for a possible breakout move. Next idea is breakout, rejection, and then wait for a possible bounce here. If we get that, I'm going to be buying that level for a continuation move higher up into the short roll C. And as soon as we clear the short roll C, I think we're going to see all-time highs not too long. So break and retest, I'm buying here. Break and retest, I'm buying that level, confident with the weekly open. So that is my plan for Bitcoin right now. Let's take a quick look at the altcoin market to see if we can find anything interesting going on in the altcoin market. So let's see. Like, what I want to see here is obviously, like, I get the feeling that altcoins are not following Bitcoin up on this move. But if Bitcoin could calm down and create some type of range up in this area without breaking down, I think we're going to see one last push. It doesn't have to be the last one, but we should see one last push from altcoins before Bitcoin starts getting rejected here. So what I'm looking for is the sign of strength here. So I want to find coins that are in a steady uptrend, and these are the altcoins I'm watching right now. This is the green list. So a couple of days every week, I go through the altcoin market, a couple of hundreds of altcoins, and I add them to the green list, and then I go through the green list to see if I can find the best ones. And at the end of the scan, I will have somewhere between 10 and 30 altcoins that I'm actively going to monitor every day, and these are the ones I'm actively monitoring right now. So looking at Link right here, we have a pretty nice uptrend going right here, and I'm mostly focusing on the 4-hour trends right here if I'm not scalping, right? So I'm focusing on the 4-hour trends. We don't really have to look at the daily because most altcoins right now look very similar on the daily. It's the 4-hour that I'm interested in. I want to see higher highs and higher lows. I want price to be above the daily 20 and 50 EMA, the 4-hour 20 and 50 EMA, and preferably above the weekly open as well, and not have any high time frame, or not high time frame, but any local strong resistance. So for example, if Link were trading down here, it would be interesting, and an interesting long opportunity, but then again, it's above these moving averages and it's above a very significant resistance. I would rather wait for Link to reclaim this level right here, but with the 4-hour stochastics down in this area. If that happens, and it's probably going to happen if we see something like this, that is when I want to go long. So my system and my trading style is based on going long here, 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 and possibly here. So that's what I'm looking for, right? I'm going long on the break and retest, right? So you can see here that, well, it doesn't really have to be a break and retest, but a retrace back down to the moving average that I'm watching, and that's like I said, the daily 20 and 50 and the 4-hour 20 and 50. So for Link right here, I actually let's just go through the list here and see if we can find anything that's not overbought on the 4-hour. Got banned, right? So we got Ave and Dodge. How's Dodge looking? Strong. I like that. Looking pretty strong. Reclaim that area. It's below the weekly open. Ave is not looking that strong. Holy shit. Look at that. God damn it. This was a trade I've been monitoring. So check this out. We have that trend line area and that horizontal level. Look at how beautifully it retested that level. Unfortunately, missed out on that one, but that is a beautiful retest right there. So on ADA, it's obviously looking extremely strong. This is probably one of the strongest coins in the crypto market right now. The price action is just screaming long me, right? So what are we looking at? Well, we have a very significant thrust candle right here, a breakout candle breaking through the weekly open. And if we add a level right here, we have something in this area right here. Now let's go to the daily, see if we have any confluence to the left. Well, we let's go to the 4-hour and see if we can find any levels here. So that's actually the highs here to the left. And let's add a level to these candle closes right here and go back and look at the 4-hour. Do we have any confluence with that level? Right. So what I'm thinking here is a retrace down to the 4-hour 20 or 50 EMA. Look at the trend here. Look at the trend. So what's the behavior of this trend? In relationship to the 4-hour 20 and 50 EMA. Well, obviously it's respecting the 20 and 50 EMA very nicely right here in the uptrends and the downtrends, and obviously the best possible entry scenarios for Cardano here was when it tested the 20 or the 50 EMA, and there's some good examples here where you also have a bull cross on the stochastics, like here, and here, and then also of course that one right here. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking for, right? I want to see that type of setup triggering for me to go long on any of these altcoins. And given the fact that Cardano is so strong, I tend to look towards the 20 EMA. But if we add some fibs here, I'm sure we might see the 50% fib somewhere in this area. And there's two fib levels that I watch extra closely, and that is the 0.618 and the 50%. So let's add that low and this high. And what you have here is you actually have the 50% right in the perfect area right here. So in not too long, you're going to have the 4-hour 50 main perfect confluence with that horizontal level and the 50% level right here. You give it a little bit of time and it's just going to be perfect, right? So what I'm thinking here is we look at the retraces on 80 Cardano, and it makes sense to see a possible wick down into this area right here. So remember that on the left, we have, on the daily, we have very nice support area right here, but that is also a very good support area and a very clear breakout area. So actually this whole area right here is an interesting support. So because of the fact that the possible buying area and the possible support for Cardano is so wide, we should, if we're, as day traders and possibly swing traders as well, if we want to have a good risk to reward, we can't just enter somewhere in this area. We need to, it's hard to identify a good invalidation level if you're using well, actually that's not big at all. Let's use 5%. All right, so never mind. If you're swing trading this, if you're looking to enter a swing trade on ADA, this is a perfect opportunity right here. Like, this is just perfect. And stop loss could be below the reload zone, somewhere down here, 11, or maybe depends. Like, if you want to fill up on a long-term position, maybe you're okay with a 15% stop loss, but I'd say somewhere between 10 and 15% for the stop loss. And I would just let it run. I mean, look at the strength of this shot right here. If it really bounces here and continues higher, I'll just let this run, right? This is a great opportunity to fill up on your long-term holdings for Cardano if you're watching that. So for a swing trade or even a position trade or a long-term trade, great area for a buy. Now let's look at the lower time frames. I'm more in, as a day trader, I'm more interested in getting in when the bounce is confirmed and having the stop loss as close to my invalidation as possible, or even I want to enter as close to my invalidation area as possible. So if we see a wick down, or maybe just the price action comes down, tests the 50 EMA in the 4-hour, and then prints a 4-hour bullish engulfing with the stochastics right here, bull cross below 30, I'm going to be entering Cardano right here, and I would like to have the stop loss below the wick, like the lowest price swing of this zone. So instead of having a stop loss down here, I'd like to have my stop loss somewhere in this area right here. And the trade is going to be based on the fibs, right? The extensions of this fib right here. And that is going to be the trade. Now, of course, looking at the strength of this chart and the general strength of the crypto market, it makes total sense to hold what we call a moon bag, right? Now, you guys know what a moon bag is. A moon bag is a you never sell. Well, obviously you're going to sell, but you keep a portion of your position open. So let's say you have 4 take profit targets and you sell 20% on each TP, which leaves you with a 20% of the position left, and that's just going to be your hodl bag, right? So out of the day trade or the swing trade comes a long-term hold position, and I really like that type of trading where you, let's say I enter here and put my stop loss down here. First take profit is going to be the last local highs, which is right here. So let's just add a 20% TP right here. So 20% right here. By the way, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, which you probably are because I'm only on YouTube, man, I'm stupid. If you're watching me, which you probably are if you're listening to me, hit that like button and subscribe. It's a quick reminder, or not. So at 20, that's 40, 60, and then I'd like to take the, or you know what? Let's just do it like this. Let's just put 40 up here. Now, when all of these take profit gets hit and the average R of this trade right here would be somewhere around 3, which is definitely acceptable. When all of these positions right here or TPs gets hit, you will have 20% of the position still open. Now, what I would recommend you do in a case like this, especially when, you know, a coin like ADA is just blowing up, right, and is continuing, I would recommend you take that 20% and move it somewhere like in cold storage, or just take it out of the trade. If you're trading on 3 commas, just you know, cancel the trade but keep the position and just hold it, because you've already made nice money on the trade. And if you believe in Cardano long term, you might as well hold it, because the problem is if you exit fully up here and crypto turns full, you know, full bull, you go back and you look at this shot. Maybe you look at this and you see a retrace, right? All TPs get hit, you exit 100% and everything's just awesome, and you see a rejection and you feel like the world's best trader. And then in 6 months, you come back. You come back in 6 months and you're like, holy shit, what if I would just have held that trade, right? I'm not saying Cardano will go to $10. I'm just saying that this will happen on some altcoins, and you would probably have wanted to hold that altcoin. I'm sure a lot of you enter a very good position on altcoin, right? And you sell and you enter again, and then you sell, you enter again and you sell, and you might be up, I don't know, 5R on that trade. You've entered and exited 6 times and you're up 5R. It's you know, it's okay or something. But then you come back a couple of months and you've seen that if you've just held that position instead of getting in and out, if you just held it, you would have made so much more money. And that is the reasoning behind having a moon bag in the crypto market, so that you don't have to come back 6 months later and you slap yourself because you didn't hold instead of trade. So keeping a moon bag in your day trading is, you're getting the best of 2 worlds. You're making some nice money on the trade and you're keeping some parts of the position open, and hopefully you can make some good money long term as well. So you're basically buying a long-term position while making some short-term gains as well. Do you recommend getting in right now? So I'm actually not going to do the webinar much longer, because I only promised like 30 minutes today, but I know I've been very slow now, so let's just do it like a couple of minutes more. Would you recommend getting in right now? No, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. On Bitcoin, no. I would not recommend doing that. On 88, no, I would not recommend doing that. It's better to wait for a setup. Like especially if you're a long-term holder, if you want to buy 88 here, I'd say if you're okay with having a, if you're okay with having like a 25% invalidation level, yeah, sure, buy Cardano. But if you're looking for a trade, better to wait for clear entry and clear entry triggers. But this is a setup that I'm watching on 88, right? So I'm gonna post this in my channel. Sorry, man, I'm not gonna be able to. I'm not gonna be able to have the time to do any short requests today. I'm afraid I'm just gonna cover this shot quickly, and these, the list right here, and give you guys a couple of trade ideas that I'm watching. So on 88, definitely worth checking out this. And what I've talked about today and what I've showed you right now is basically what you're supposed to look for. You're supposed to look for a test of this area right here. And you want to see a test of the area around the weekly open, the area between the 618 and the 50% right here. Yeah, crypto is amazing. Everything's just pumping. It's like, and this is a great market for a 100% TE trader like me because I don't care about fundamentals. So I don't care if I'm trading the most worthless piece of shit product out there. If it's bullish, I'll buy it. If my entry is triggering, I don't care if I'm buying whatever. It could be whatever. I don't care about the fundamentals. Look at ADA. I don't even know what the fuck ADA is. I don't think a lot of people know what it is actually. Let's not get into that, but yeah, like I don't really care what it is. If my entry trigger is triggering, I'll buy. And let me give you exactly what you're supposed to be looking for. You want to see price retrace down to the 50 EMA on the 4-hour. You want to see stochastics RSI being below 30, and preferably you would like to see a bullish cross on the stochastics below 30 while there's a 4-hour bullish engulfing. That's your entry trigger. Stop loss below the 4-hour candle, the 4-hour bullish engulfing, or below the reload zone or whatever. My shots are shared in the Discord server for the Nest Club members. So check that out. Go to burbnest.com, click subscriptions, check out the Nest Club subscription. This webinar tonight is actually a what's supposed to be a Nest Club webinar, but I decided to do it public for all of you guys on YouTube. But this is actually what we do on a daily basis. We have these types of webinar on a daily basis inside the Birb Nest. So if you're not a member, if you was just checking this out and you're new to this whole space, if you want to learn how to trade, I seriously would really like. Obviously, I'm a member of the team, so of course I'm going to recommend my own trading community. But the way I traded was I actually joined a trading community after the crash in 2017. So I joined a community called Bravado back in the day, and that is actually how I learned how to trade. So there's a lot of hate on paid groups and trading communities and stuff like that. But if you really want to learn, if you really want to learn how to trade and you're able to soak up the knowledge in the team, I mean, we're a team of, 4 full-time traders. We have 2 trader psychologists. It's like we have a full team of people who actually do this for a living, and you're able to ask us anything you like, any concept you like, just have it described to you. It's really, really good if you really want to learn how to trade, basically. And of course, you can also reach me, like send me a DM on Twitter if you need help with anything, but definitely check it out. My thoughts on Matic. Let me just go through this list quickly. So 88, I'm posting that one in the group just quickly right here. One inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. I saw my girlfriend running outside the window shouting at a dog. I don't know what's going on out there, but I should probably check it out soon. What's 1 inch is just looking fantastic right here. Just fantastic. And check this out. That's a 4-hour bullish engulfing right there with a stochastic ball cross below 30. And it happened on a significant level and weekly open. That is when you enter. That is your buying confirmation right there. And this was a good one as well. 1 inch, no clear setup right here. We got Atom, no clear setup right now. Luna, yeah, no. Dot, nothing super clear right now. I think 80, Cardano is actually the one looking most decent right now. All right, let's look at FTM. Man, everything's moving. All right, here's another one. This is something I'm watching. I think this could be a really good trade. This could be a really good trade if we can get a wick down into the weekly open area and the 4-hour 50 EMA. So this is definitely something I'm watching right here. So watch the test of the 50% right here. So I'm gonna post that one as well. Luna is actually like something's really happening here on Luna. I think Luna could be could see a setup here forming on Luna actually. So this is actually looking pretty good. We have the test of a horizontal level right here. Like you can see a wick down here, you have stochastics in the oversold territory, and you have a pretty decent, something's going on here. I like this. No, this is Lena, not Luna. Definitely interesting. If we get another push up, I would definitely look at going long on this. I would like to have a deeper, wick down. So if we get a bounce on the 50-minute 4-hour, I'd like to go in on that one. I think it's fairly likely that we're going to see something like that. So I'm moving this up on the list. Rune. Alpha. All right, so 2 setups right now that I'm watching actively that might activate is ADA and Lena and GRT. So that's 3. ADA, GRT, and Lena, where Lena would be this right here. This would probably be the setup, something like this. Stop loss probably down in this area. And I would look for a move up into the reload zone right there. So let me link that as well. All right, guys. So actually, like I barely slept anything tonight. I have a bad headache and I'm just super, super tired. So I'm going to have to end the webinar. Hopefully you found this somewhat educational, interesting. Like what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to repeat every time I'm having a webinar, just repeat my system and my trading style and what I look for when finding entries, so that you can take that knowledge and apply in your own trading what you feel like makes sense from me. There's going to be a lot of stuff that I talk about that you feel like might feel like it's not doesn't make sense, right? Doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, if you understand what I'm saying but you don't think it's going to work, or you feel like it doesn't make sense, don't try it. Just don't apply it into your system. But if you feel like the idea of buying the retest of the 50 EMA and the 4-hour with a stochastic bull cross, if you feel like that makes sense and it's easy to understand, take that and apply it to your own trading and see if it works. If it works, keep on doing it. If it doesn't work, just try something else. But I strongly urge you guys to keep it very simple when you're trading. Go back to the basics. Remove all indicators. Just focus on horizontal support and resistances, and then add one indicator at a time. And make sure that you understand the indicators that you're adding. You can't add just 10 indicators at once, and you're not really sure what each one of them does. You need to understand exactly what the indicator does and why you're using that indicator. That is the most important part. Like, why am I using the stochastics RSI? It's very simple. I'm using it as an entry trigger, not an exit trigger, nothing like that. I don't care where the stochastics RSI is when I'm in a trade. The only thing I care about is there a bull cross below 30 when I'm looking for longs? I go long. If there's a bear cross above 70 when I'm looking for shorts, I go short. If everything else aligns. That is the only reason I'm using the stochastics, and that's why I have it on my chart. If you have a lot of indicators and you can't explain why they're on the chart in a very simple way, just remove it. Just remove it because you have no idea what you're doing. Honestly, just remove it. If you can't explain to yourself in one sentence why you have the indicator on the chart, you should just remove it. All right, guys. That's it. Take care. Yeah, fib and horizontal support is enough. Like, only horizontals are enough to make money in this market. Everything else is just to help you, slightly in each direction. But just keep it simple, guys. All right, guys, take care, and see you guys in Birb. Take care.